As I was coming up on one of them, I'm pushing a rock, got under my wheel, and it got spit out in front of me, but it bounced out, and it was like, that's the last thing you want to see, because that's the one thing you don't want to happen, is have a rock. Because if you hit a rock, there's nothing you can do about it. You're definitely going headfirst into the hole. When I called Sturt originally to go see the water tower gap, I was like, hey Sturt, I got this thing I want to show you, and I think it would make a good photo. The one thing he had to say was, is the possibility of death involved? I went, yeah, on this one actually there is. He's like, all right, I'll be there. And he came up to meet me. Sturt told me later that he had his phone set to 911 in case things went wrong. He did tell me that after, not before. See, there's a rail now. So I don't know if that means that it'll never get skated again, unless you put a kicker up this way and go over the rail. Yeah, because I don't think anyone's been back to skate it yet. So, oh yeah, I had driven by it for years. I remember it caught my eye one time driving by. It was like, ooh, like I wonder if that's possible. And one of the days I just had extra time, I'm like, let me go check it out. I went and walked to the edge, looked at the other one, like, okay, it's far, but possible. It's a real like optical illusion when you get to the edge and your line of sight just starts dropping because you can see how far down it goes. You have to just focus on the edge that you're trying to make it to. The day that I did it, we didn't even know we were going there. I was actually going out with Ty Evans to film for the starting point video. I got a call from Sturt, the photographer, and I had shown him the spot. And he's like, you want to do that thing today? And I knew exactly what he was talking about. Like, all right. So I let Ty know, hey, before we go do our flat ground stuff, I got to go do this thing with Sturt. Are you down to film that first? Ty has no idea what he's getting into. He's never seen it. I think it goes all the way back to Nadas. I saw Nadas Ollie in the magazine between two like semi-trucks, I think it was. It just looked cool. I mean, if it goes wrong, you get really hurt.
I've driven by those things and I see the environments that they're surrounded by, and I think it's probably one of the like sketchiest things to skate outside of like a military base or like a police station, but like, I don't think that's like, I'm pretty sure that's forbidden territory. Like, you're not supposed to be up there.
Yeah, I just had to work my way up the fire escape ladder on the far one. The funny thing is we didn't film that until after. Before we got out of there, I asked Ty, like, hey, can you film how we get up here? Yeah, just getting up there was a mission in itself. And then run into the wind to jump to the one that I'm gonna ollie from. But I knew once I ran and jumped it, I was gonna have to at least try to ollie it back. We'll see how that goes. I did go back and measure it from the bottom, and usually when I get to a spot and I need to measure it, I would just walk it off with my feet like toe to heel. So I walked the bottom off on that, and it was in that like 16-foot range, like 16 and a half. I'm guessing it's about 40 feet up. Those towers are pretty big as far as big around, so I had enough room to get the speed, but you did have to run, throw it down, and get as many hard pushes as you can. The most important push is that last one, because once you get your last push and you stop and you try to set up, if you're not going fast enough, there's nothing else you can do, because at some point you're going too fast to stop before you get to the edge. So you had to decide before that last push if you're going fast enough. And I just made sure I went as fast as humanly possible. After I got the make, as soon as I hopped over that wall, I landed and I looked up, and there's a cop right there waiting at the red light to make a left. And he must have not seen me jump out, but I had my board with me and I start walking up this road. He pulls up next to me and he slows down and rolls down his window, but I just ignore him and keep walking. And he pulled up next to me and just went and made the right there, parked right behind Sturt's car. And then I saw Ty Evans coming in his truck, and he's like, hop in. So I hopped into his truck and we got out of there. We made it out clean. But Sturt had the cop waiting behind his car, and he had to go under the tunnel and hide. And when he came up the other side, there were more cops waiting over there. So he said he ended up in a sewer system and like was down there for over an hour, just hiding in the sewers. And the reason why they were on Sturt is because he had a grappling hook on his front seat, and you could see it through the window. So they thought it looked suspicious. Plan B was doing a best of Plan B video. That was after Secondhand Smoke had already come out, and after Revolution too, I believe. And some extra stuff, whatever everyone else could film for the team. Plan B ended up going out of business right before that thing came out. This kickflip ended up in 411. It was the Plan B industry section, it was called. I kicked out the first one, but my board and myself made it to the other side. It was one of those things where I went as fast as I could, I ollied as late as I could, I stretched it out as much as I could, and it still looked like I wasn't gonna make it. Looked like I was gonna hang. So I kicked it out and walked it off, and my board stayed up there. I had to throw my board over to the other side every time, and then run and jump and catch it before it rolled off, because it was too far for me to run and jump with my board in my arm. So I'd have to toss my board over first, hope it landed upside down, and if it landed wheels down, then I had a limited amount of time to get back, run and jump, and get my board before it falls.
The clip of him running and jumping it scares me more than the actual ollie itself. Like, there's so much more that can go wrong running and jumping something, especially for me. I like feel clumsy that way.
And I think on the fourth try, I was able to land on it, but I was leaning back a little bit, and my board shot out. My board did end up falling off the end before I could get to it. And I figured they could throw my board up to me, and I was dead wrong. So I ended up just laying down, hanging my arm over the side as far as I could reach, and they threw it as high as they could, and it finally got to my fingertips. But when I got it up there, I got the bad news that on my tail, from one of the attempts from them throwing it up, it came down right on the tail, and it chipped it in a way that I've never seen a board get chipped. Like, it wasn't on the top by the grip tape, it was underneath where you actually pop your tail. So I was like just scraping it down, and then I had to put it over the edge like I'm gonna drop in on the thing and stomp on it, try to get it that way, just to get it flat enough to where it's reasonable. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go as fast as I can and try to stay on, just square over this one and make it. Because I didn't want to keep trying it. It was just getting weirder, stranger, sketchier, and I'm getting tired, so I was like, I'm gonna do this. Really thought we'd get the ollie first or second try, and I'd move on to like a 180, front side or back side, and then go on for a kickflip. If that window's closed, we'll see, but I can still do a kickflip, you know?
That's all it takes.
Yeah, exactly. There you have it, water tower in front of the water tower. A few people have been looking at it, so the rail's still there. That means Tyshawn didn't cut it, but no one's done anything yet that I know of.